One other thing to note is that the top 10 drivers are separated by less than a second on the grid. The margins between them then minuscule, and hopefully that means we'll get a very, very close race around here at Lydden Hill. The red lights go on then, and everyone gets prepared to get racing. Who gets the better of the starts as the lights go out? Brian Roper looks to be on the move from the outside of the front row, but David Abbott is still there, and so too is Pete Daniels drawing alongside. So three abreast for the first time into Pilgrims. A bit further down the order, that's Steve Papworth in the number 26 car, but Brian Roper, as you can see, has lost out a little bit there, falls down to third place then from second on the grid. Terry Upton going well just behind, having a good battle with the 43 car of Alan Donnelly. But it's David Abbott who nips into the lead then through the Devil's Elbow for the first time, and now it's a drag race up the hill towards North Bend with Brian Roper on the outside, David Abbott on the inside, and Pete Daniels, after that initially good start, goes down to third, and Brian Roper gets it very, very wrong there at North Bend, and Alan Donnelly may be able to sneak into third place now as they head back down the hill.
A great start from Alan Donnelly. He started 9th on the grid and is now challenging for third place. Make that second, because through on the inside, ahead of Pete Daniels he goes. He runs a little bit wide on the exit of the corner then, so it's side by side between the pair of them as they head down the Canterbury Straight in towards Pilgrims once more. It's Daniels on the inside, but the man from Cookstown in Northern Ireland has made it through into P2. So it's David Abbott leading. In second place it's Alan Donnelly. It's Pete Daniels in third and Brian Roper in fourth. David Nye there we got a shot of. He's a little bit further down the order than we normally see him, not enjoying the conditions at Lydden Hill this weekend.
So David Abbott, who leads the championship coming into this round, is going well at the moment, mixing it with the leaders, but he's fallen to second. No, he's still there, I beg your pardon, in the lead of Alan Donnelly. Difficult to tell those two cars apart as they head up towards North Bend, but Donnelly not quite in the lead of the race. It is Pete Daniels in third, having snatched the lead for a couple of corners earlier on, but has fallen down now to the bottom step of the podium provisionally. Brian Roper, after a good getaway, is down to fourth and struggling here with the conditions. Half and half really, not fully a wet track, but equally not fully dry, and it's difficult to judge exactly where to put your car, particularly through Pilgrims there with the big puddle right on the apex of the corner. There's Abbott then, the race leader, making his way now down Dover Slope and towards Devil's Elbow. And a big gap to Brian Roper in fourth place. What's going on here? We've got a spinner, I think, somewhere, and that is the number 64 car that's gone for a spin. So Tony Stiles has got Pilgrims slightly wrong, facing the wrong way, and allows the cars to get past before he does a quick three-point turn and rejoins.
Down the hill then go the race leaders. It's David Abbott leading from Alan Donnelly, number 43, the man from Northern Ireland, and there's a slower car up ahead of them to deal with any moment now as well. So traffic already coming into play in this race. This the view at North Bend. Is that David Nye possibly just taking a trip off the circuit? No, it's number 12. That's Richard Cole-Birth. We get a closer up shot now of that car. So Richard just briefly leaving the circuit. Hopefully he'll be able to get back on. Looking further back, this looks to be the car of Stephen Brown there, and just behind he's got James Stiles as well, and so that's battle going on a little bit further down the order, but closing up at the front is Alan Donnelly trying to get through on the inside of David Abbott. There's a little bit of contact there as they made their way around Paddock Bend that time, but it looks like Alan Donnelly has gone through into the lead of the race, but David Abbott not giving up the fight. Into Pilgrims they go, but it looks like Donnelly has gone through. He's taken the lead, but he runs wide there, almost rally crossing here at the home of the sports, and he does go wide, and he does let David Abbott go back through. So out of Cheshunt's Drift, down Dover Slope they will head towards Devil's Elbow. It's David Abbott leading from in second place Alan Donnelly, and don't forget Donnelly won the SI class last time out at Cadwell Park. He didn't take the overall win on that occasion because of course that was in a mixed class race and Ben Roper won in the STs, but Alan Donnelly really the form man today.
A real seesaw battle this then, and surprisingly enough Pete Daniels still can't quite get close enough despite these two cars battling amongst themselves, although he is slowly clawing back that margin that he lost a couple of laps ago. There's Brian Roper still in fourth place, battling away with Terry Upton in the orange car, the number 68 machine, heading through the final corner and back across the start finish line. And Alan Donnelly's season has really become really very good towards this part of the year. He's taken a while to get going, started off with a fourth and a fifth, and then slipped down to ninth place in Snetterton, but gradually he's been building his way further and further up the order, and as Ian mentioned, won the last time out at Cadwell, certainly won the class anyway. Big problems here for the number 12 car, upside down, I'm afraid, then, for the Colbirth car. That's Richard Colbirth, who has hit the tyre wall very heavily indeed and flipped the car upside down. The marshals heading towards the stricken car, and also in the gravel there is the other Colbirth. This time it's Joanne who has hit problems into the gravel there. Not quite as dramatic though as Richard, who is out of the car, and now the Fiesta being righted by a number of marshals on the scene, but that has to be a heavy impact there to chuck the car up onto the roof, Ian.
Yeah, certainly a big impact. We missed that though. He won't be able to take the restart. The race, of course, was red flagged. We've got the red lights on again, and it's a shortened restart. 10 minutes the distance this time. Away they go then into the murk for a second time of asking. And can Alan Donnelly do any better this time? Can he hold the lead all the way this time? It looks like he's made a good start. Brian Roper in danger of losing out there to Terry Upton. We're watching from Tim Bennett's car. He's losing a position to David Nye as well. And leading the way then is number 43, Alan Donnelly this time. He's got through ahead of David Abbott, so hopefully now he can put that mistake behind him and hold on to the lead. They climb up the hill towards North Bend for the first time.
Side by side a bit further back as well, but it's still side by side here as well, with David Abbott on the inside and Pete Daniels on the outside. This is North Bend then, with Alan Donnelly just ahead. Second place though still bitterly being fought out around the right-hander, and then back down Harry Hill towards Paddock Bend. Brian Roper a bit more in touch this time. There's Terry Upton and David Nye. Jamie Stiles just ahead of this man, Tim Bennett, coming out of the final corner. Stiles does a little bit wide there and kicks up the dust, but not too much time lost. In fact, that seemed to be a quicker line, if anything. And here's Brian Roper very much sticking to the middle of the track, whereas Terry Upton hugs that white line through the right-hander. There again is Steve Papworth a bit further down the order. And here's the lead battle, with David Abbott trying to find an inside line into Devil's Elbow, but not the open door not being offered to him this time. So up the hill they go. Top four really close together here, much more so than in the earlier attempt at this race. So it's Donnelly from Abbott, then it's Pete Daniels and Brian Roper heading down Harry Hill once more.
Top three then, just getting away a little bit from Brian Roper now. There's only maybe, a second between the third and fourth place cars. Number 61, Pete Daniels with the Union Jack livery, and the yellow car of number 10, Brian Roper, who's been the winning most driver this season with 4 wins to his credit within the SI class. And as I say, he's dropping back a little bit. He's closing the gap again to Pete Daniels, just beginning to get away from the orange car of Terry Upton. We look further back here. This is number 64, Tony Stiles, and 21, Jane Snipe. They're having their own private battle towards the lower order. Here comes Brian Roper now, through on the inside at the Devil's Elbow, and he's gone through to third place. So Brian Roper goes up a position, but he drifts wide there. Daniels gets back alongside, but he's going to have the outside line for the very tight right-hand corner at the top of the hill. Roper's later on the brakes, gets the car turned in, and holds on to third position.
So a good move there, had to be patient, but got there in the end. This is further down the order again with Tony Stiles and Jamie Stiles, I think. And Jamie getting past Tony there into Pilgrims and on towards Chesson's Drift. So this is now the scrap for second position, with Brian Roper having managed to get away from the fourth place man, Pete Daniels. Runs a little bit wide again, but he's right on the tail of David Abbott now as they head towards the first corner at Pilgrims. Brian Roper and David Abbott fighting it out, not only on track but also for the championship as well. Abbott's gone wide, and that is significant for the championship. There was a bit of contact there, I think, and as they headed through Pilgrims, I'm afraid he's gone off onto the grass, not lost a huge amount of time, but has lost a place to Terry Upton and Brian Roper. This is the final lap for Alan Donnelly, and at the moment nobody behind him, so looking like it's going to be a comfortable victory in the end for the 43 car, currently lying in 6th place in the championship. And this is going to be back-to-back wins in the SI class, and Alan Donnelly comes across the line then to receive the checkered flag, and it'll be Brian Roper in the background there who'll come through in 2nd place.
Wonderful drive that from Alan Donnelly when you consider that he started the original start in 9th position. He quickly came through up into the top 4 contention, and of course made that good restart to take the win from Brian Roper. Crucially, as far as the championship concerned, David Abbott back in 4th, so the gap, which was 7 points between Abbott and Roper, that narrows very slightly.